Hey everyone, welcome back to On Purpose, the #1 health podcast in the world, where we get to dissect stories of people who are living with purpose, people who are living with meaning, people who are living an incredible life based on their passion and transforming lives and the world through it. Now, today's guests, if you haven't heard about them, I am so excited for you to learn about them. Not only are they listeners of the podcast, they're dear friends of mine, and they've made an effort to be here in between their crazy schedule of what they've been up to. So I want to tell you a bit about our two incredible guests today, and here I go. So Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah are the newest set of big budget studio directors you will want to keep tabs on. Moroccans by way of Belgium, they partnered in film school and are known for writing and directing the feature films Image 2014, Black 2015, and Patsa 2018. And they are the directors of the smash hit Bad Boys for Life. If you've not seen it, make sure you go check it out. I saw it twice in the week that it dropped, starring, of course, the one and only Will Smith and the awesome Martin Lawrence. LRB says, our movies are for a generation who doesn't have dreams. We want to give them a voice. I can't wait to hear their voices today. Welcome to the show, Adil and Bilal. It's so good to have you here, man.
Bro. Jay. How you doing?
I was so excited for your guys' energy to come to the podcast because I remember the first time we went out for dinner, and then when we hung out together, and then back at the premiere as well. I mean, you guys you literally ooze authenticity.
Thank
you just have that energy and vibe. Like whenever I'm with you, I feel like you're being totally yourself. You're just super down to earth. You're super grounded. And despite all your amazing success that you're having, you're just good human beings, man. So
thanks,
Thank
man.
you, brother.
It means a lot that it comes from you. So
yeah, I mean it.
It's such a big honor to be here.
yeah,
man.
and a privilege.
Well, no, I'm excited to dive into your stories today. You've got a phenomenal story. And I think anyone who's listening and watching today, this is one of those stories that's going to make you dream again. It's one of those stories that helps you realize the value of hard work and the value of what it takes to really chase your dreams. And I think both of you embody that. So let's dive straight into it. And I want you to talk about, the first thing is, I want you to tell me about a funny memory that you two shared at film school when you met in St. Lucas.
Well, St. Lucas in Brussels was a very artistic school, and it was actually full of white people, and we're Moroccans,
Yeah.
and
Really?
yeah, 100%. and I was very shy and not really sociable, and I didn't talk a lot, and I also didn't know how to dress well, and so I was like in my corner, and then came somebody that was really loud.
I wasn't that loud, but
Yeah, but it was like the Fresh Prince came in, Fresh Prince of Brussels. And, Bilal Fallah, who was talking to everybody, and I was like, who's this loud guy?
yeah, but I was like, I only saw like white people. And I was like, what's going on? And in the corner, I saw Adil, and I'm like, is that a Moroccan? Is that a Moroccan? So I went to him and I said, yo, you Moroccan?
And I said, yeah.
And then we became brothers.
Yeah,
It was
right,
like,
brothers.
yo.
We formed a gang right away.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
That's
So
amazing. How old were you guys then?
I was 18 then. Yeah.
Wow, so it's been like 14 years for you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
roughly, of
yeah,
being friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a real friendship, man.
Yeah,
It's amazing that, did you ever imagine then, when you guys were 18, you're at film school, you both see each other, two Moroccan, like, did you ever imagine that you would make movies together one day?
Well, yeah, I always thought I was going to be a lonely filmmaker.
Yeah, and I thought I was gonna be like a dictator. My first movies, I was like handling the on camera. I did everything myself because I couldn't like give it to somebody else. So
Yeah, you have your own vision like that, But when we became friends, we were helping each other out with movies, and step by step we realized that we had the same ideas, the same vision. Also, when we would read like a script or a story, in our head, I would explain to him how I see it visually and how cut together with what kind of music, and he said, I got the same thing.
Yeah, it was like super freaky.
Really?
Yeah, it was. It's really phenomenal to have a feeling like that. Like see somebody seeing the same thing.
Yeah,
That's like
it's scary at first.
Yeah, scary. And first of all, I was thinking, what the. Like I'll beat this guy.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you're thinking like, oh, is this person just agreeing with everything I say? Like, that's amazing. That's very rare. By the way, I just wanted to say, and I'm saying this for everyone watching, this is the first time that we've ever done a double guest.
And making
you-
history.
Yeah, literally. This is historic for the podcast. And you've already raised the bar. The chemistry here right now. Now, next time we have double guests, it's going to be hard work to beat you guys. But what did you learn about yourselves and each other in developing that collaboration? Because I feel like when you're 18, we have this childlike collaboration of like, oh, we'd love to work together, it'd be cool. But now that you're actually doing it as adults and you've made multiple movies together, it's like, what have you learned about collaboration and working together in the process?
Well, being collaborating, because I was like a dictator and I wanted my and nobody can touch it. I learned to like listen to all the ideas and be open and absorb everything. So, but I was like everything, perfectionist, and he learned me mostly of you have to let it go sometimes, let it loose, else I'll be working forever on one thing.
And for me, I was the contrary. I was at that time really happy too fast. Like, it's good enough. Not to put too much effort in it. It's good. Nobody's gonna see all the mistakes. It's good enough. And he was like, no, man, you gotta like pay attention to the details. So his crazy perfectionism and my lazy nonchalance, just let it happen. That combination made it work like a very good balance. Yeah,
you know, it's so good hearing that, because I think there's so many people who are listening and watching right now, and they're either trying to do everything on their own, or I know a lot of people who just say to me, Jay, I need to be in a team. Like I need to work with people around me and energy. And it's fun to see how both of you actually thought you were independent, but you found your complementary skills. And that's really good to hear, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I love hearing that.
It's
Like,
teamwork.
teamwork is like central in everything we do. It's actually the most important thing. If we start a project, then it's just like a family, like a team, and bring the best out of everyone to bring the best project.
Because when making movies, it is like you're in a football team. Basically, you gotta have all your awesome players. You know, like the Red Devils.
Are you both Manchester United fans?
Well, I'm more a Tottenham fan because I know you.
I'm Manchester United.
But Tottenham because Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, they're my buddies. So
well, we used to have Fellaini.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Manchester City, man.
We had Lukaku at one point.
Well, the Premier League is practically the Belgian league.
It is, exactly. Oh yeah, I got to interview Hazard last year. Yeah.
Hazard.
You got an amazing team.
Exactly.
But okay, move away from football because we get back to more serious stuff. But it's interesting. I don't know if you read Bob Iger's book. So in Bob Iger's book, he talks about how like at one point Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, George Lucas, they would all get together and watch each other's movies and give each other feedback.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to hear that. Like, I mean, do you feel that now that you're in LA and you're spending more time here, like who do you guys go to for mentorship and feedback, and who are you learning from?
Well, obviously working with Will and that's like for us, that's like a mentor. You grew up with him as an actor, but also a great filmmaker with so many ideas, and being with Jerry Bruckheimer, the iconic producer, one of the most famous producers in the world. So those people that we work with, that was already like our first circle. But now that we're here, there's so many directors that we'd love to meet that we are big fans of Scorsese, if we could meet him one day, or Tarantino, or Spielberg, also newer generations. If Damien Chazelle hears us, or Barry Jenkins, we'd love to be your boys. So we did that in Belgium, where there's also a new generation of filmmakers that are starting to break out also internationally in television, and we're all friends and we all watch each other's stuff, and it's great to see that we're basically all coming together in Hollywood now. So on the Belgian front, we already have that.
Yeah. Okay. This is awesome. Before we dive into the main part of what I want to talk about today, I want to hear the one thing that annoys you the most about the other person,
that one,
and the one thing that you love about the other person. We'll start with the annoying.
The annoying, but there's a lot of things.
Start.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things.
I know it's difficult to choose one, but there's like a small things. It is, it's for some reason he always like slurps. Sucks on his food, even when it's not a soup.
Yeah, and he always like when he eats with his mouth open, and that sound is so annoying. It's like there's only one sound and there's a. So that makes me nervous.
That's really sorry that I say that.
So you can't eat dinner together.
No, it's difficult. I mean, you don't just you're in your zone. We do a headset and we don't talk to each other. So that's.
And what about love? What do you guys love about each other?
Well, one of the things that could annoy me, but actually is awesome, is the fact that he's besides the movie, where he's perfectionist, he's really like live and let live. Really, like, he's a good guy. He's really chill. He's really, sometimes, I get worked out. I'm pissed off about the small thing. I talk to him and I'll say, I'm so angry. And he's like, come on, man, just take it easy. Be grateful, be chill. I mean, don't worry about it. And I'm like, I wish I was like you. But it calms me down, and the fact that he's really very calm and chill and serene.
Well, the funny thing is, I like when you're mad, because then he has this driving force that takes me, gives me a lot of power to go and that mad, or when you're mad, you put it always in work,
positive,
positive,
canalize it in some positive thing, in positive energy, so that's why it's good that we have this dynamic thing, because he's when I'm too stressed
really
out,
like opposites the whole time.
Yeah, he's like the Zen master, and I'm the energy booster.
Yeah, well, no, it's good. You can tell that you guys are great friends, man. And I want to dive into it now. We want to talk about serious filmmaking stuff, because you guys are incredible filmmakers. You're innovative. When I saw Bad Boys for Life, and I remember you sent me your Belgian movies too, which I had seen. So when I watched them, I was blown away by, whenever you see sequels being made now of movies, it's always it gets harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And usually the quality of the movie goes lower and lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And obviously I knew you guys before I watched the movie. And so my hope was that you were going to bring something amazing to it. And you did. I think everyone who watched it genuinely believed that the storytelling was incredible. The videography was awesome. Like, it was fresh, it was new, but it still kept the same roots and grounding of what we all grew up watching Bad Boys. But let's tell me that journey, and we'll do the Bad Boys journey, and then we'll go backwards on everything you did in Belgium. Tell me the journey of you two being at film school together, watching things like Fresh Prince growing up and Martin after school, and then you get this call that changes your life, that brings you into this world. Like, tell us about that journey.
Well, yeah, for us, when you're in an art school, mostly they train you to make a very auteur cinema, which is good. It's a good thing. But it's mostly like art house movies, movies that you go to film festivals and stuff like that. So Hollywood is not really a good word there. Hollywood's like, nah, you're not in the right school.
You're not cool. Hollywood's not cool.
No, it's not cool at all. And we, as we would secretly say, so, hey, you like action movies? And it's like, yeah. Hey, do you like Jerry Bruckheimer movies? Yeah. You like Bad Boys? Yeah. Hey, what if one day, if they don't make it, when are they gonna make a third Bad Boys movie? That was what we were starting to say. And
at film school,
and year after year we say, hey, if they don't make a Bad Boys movie, we're gonna make that. Because back then we were 100% sure we're gonna do film school, and then we make one movie in Belgium, and right away we're in Hollywood and we make Bad Boys 3. So that was all the time. The thing that we would talk about is Bad Boys 3 specifically.
We were even saying that we were like the Bad Boys of cinema back then. Like, we related so much to Mike and Marcus.
We were always who. Well,
I have a little bit of Mike in me, but also Marcus.
It depends. Sometimes
I'm Mike.
I'm mostly Marcus. But sometimes if everyone want to be badass, I'm a Mike.
But everybody wants to be like Mike Lau.
Yeah, but everybody's mostly Marcus. But funny and sweet and warm and a good guy.
But tell us about that process then. So you've had this dream, you're talking about it, you're thinking about it, which when you first told me that, that blew my mind. Because I was just like, it's so cool when you've talked about something, and it's quite a rare thing to pull off, right? It's like, first of all, they've got to be ready to make another movie. Second of all, you got to be the guys who get picked. Tell us about the process of being picked, chosen, selected, getting the job. How did it work?
I just wanted to tell another little story.
Of course,
so when I was 12 years old, I grew up. I was like small, and then I grew really tall, and I became really skinny. And at school, I was like a nerd, and everybody laughed with me. So I was like a big nerd. And after school, I always saw the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I started to think like, I have to be like that guy, I have to be like open and just like, so because of Fresh Prince, I started to think like, I can be a movie maker. I can do this. I can be cool. And
basically because he was Silly Billy, like Silly Willy. And Will Smith saved his life, basically.
Yeah, basically because of him, I started to open my mind to whatever I can be whatever I want to.
Yeah.
And to make a movie, first Hollywood movie with Will Smith, it's just like bigger than life.
Yeah, and it all started when we met each other. There was a book which was called Black, which was about gangs in Brussels, and it was a Romeo and Juliet story between a Congolese girl, 15-year-old girl that falls in love with a Moroccan guy from a rival gang, and it was a very hard, very shocking story based on true events. And when we read that book, right away we knew, okay, this is gonna be our Do the Right Thing, our La Haine, our Mean Streets. This movie is gonna be our ticket to Hollywood, no matter what. But we were in the first year of film school, and we had flunked that first year when we read the book. So it was like still 4 years to go as the students. So we were like, okay, we need to make this movie by any means necessary, because this is gonna be the one that's gonna bring us to Hollywood. And then once in Hollywood, we're gonna ask for Bad Boys 3. So that was like the ticket.
That was a plan.
Yeah, it was really like that. And they were already planning to make a movie out of that. So we were thinking
Belgium.
Yeah, in Belgium. Game over. We were still students. So year after year, we started to make better short movies, and every short movie was basically a sort of adaptation of that book. Up until we started to win a lot of prizes with a movie that was called Brothers, and then we got the opportunity out of nowhere to direct the adaptation of that book, Black. And that's what we did. And we did this movie. It came out in 2015, and it blew up in Toronto Film Festival. It won a prize there, and that's how the doors of Hollywood opened right away. And the first producer to see the movie was, by chance of God, Jerry Bruckheimer. Wow. And when we thought, it worked. Yeah. This movie is being seen by him, his eyes. And then they said, Will Smith also watched your movies. So like the eyeballs of Will Smith is on our stuff. And that's where we got a meeting to meet Jerry Bruckheimer.
Like one of the first meetings in Hollywood was at Jerry Bruckheimer's office. So
it was 2015, and then they said, "What do you want to do, guys? Bad Boys 3." And I said, "No, it's not available."
There's already a director.
Which is the same situation as with Black, but we were like, okay, we're gonna steal that project somehow. And year after year, we were always like chasing it, and eventually the director, great guy, Joe Carnahan, he dropped out of the project. And then Bad Boys, all of a sudden, in the mailbox, the script of Bad Boys. And like, it's real. And the fact that, when we were like 19, it was, we really wanted it, but it was a dream, and we never thought it was really going to happen. Because when you say, we're going to adapt that book, and then that book's going to go to Hollywood, and then Will is going to see the movie, and then he's going to give us Bad Boys 3. We say that as 19-year-olds. It's just...
we say a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we say a lot of stuff. Yeah. But when it really happens, you're like...
So at the point when we got Bad Boys for Life, the script in our mailbox, we were preparing a Belgian movie, Patser, or the international title is Gangster. And we were like 2 weeks or 3 weeks from the shoot. So Jerry said, "Are you available to make Bad Boys?"
And then we said, no. And we turned it down. And
we turned it down.
That
it was the most difficult no ever.
Because you were already signed up.
And like the whole crew was ready, all the actors, and it was a batch. Yeah, and I could never imagine I could say no to.
I never believed that we would. Yeah, like I can't believe we're going to say no to Bad Boys for Life, to Will Smith, to Jerry Bruckheimer, to Martin Lawrence. And we did that. And it was that's just life, man. It's just, if it was not written for us, it was not written for us. And eventually, in 2018, he came back like, hey, we're going to do it again. And then we said, now we're available. And that's how it all happened. So
it's amazing.
It was meant to be.
That's incredible. Tell me about what it was when you read the book Black and you thought, this needs to be a movie. Like, what was it about the story? What was it that connected with both of you that you felt so confident that was going to be your ticket into the directing world?
Well, for us, because we're from Moroccan origin, Moroccans in Belgium, it's sometimes tough. There is racism, there is poverty among the Moroccan community. There's a lot of, also there is crime, there's a stigma. So there were no really public figure or filmmakers or actors that looked like us. Everybody was white basically, and also the movie world as well and the TV world. So that's why in film school we're the only twos. And you read that book and you just know, okay, there's never been a story told like that in Belgium. These stories aren't told. And
tell us a bit about the story.
Yeah, the story it was it was about this African and Arab community in those poor neighborhoods that we really know because it's close to us. It's close to our friends, to our families.
Even like at school when we made short movies, it was like in that world.
Yeah.
So it was. we were making all these little stories in that world, and this book is telling.
And actually, you heard about the real story of
Yeah.
this girl that basically, when a girl is in a gang like that in Belgium, she's just an object. You know, she's forced to have sex with everybody of that gang, and it's a very harsh, hard reality that nobody really talked about and nobody wanted to see is that, because all the victims are gang members, even though they're just 15, 16 years old. And we felt compelled to really tell this story because it's a reality, and these are victims. They are also, their stories are worth being told to the world.
Yeah, and those stories were like, it was in the newspaper, just one line. Nobody talked about all that violence that was happening in that world. So it is, and because all these victims are from that world, and it's not like
They don't care.
they don't care. So having this story and telling this story from a black girl's perspective was just we felt like this story has to be told.
And at the same time, the casting, there was, all the actors never played in a movie before, because in acting schools or in the casting agencies, you didn't have the diversity, and we needed to find them on the streets, and there were some singers, some rappers that eventually got the part, and for the first time, they, you know, people could go to the cinema and watch the diversity on the screen reflected.
Yeah, I'm just going to explain more about that
please,
casting
tell us.
process.
Yeah.
While I was at school, I saw this movie, City of God, and it was
that
talking.
was a great movie. Yeah,
And I saw like everything about that movie, the making of, and all these actors were from the favelas. So I had just this personal connection with that movie, because it was like, you don't see Moroccans or blacks on the TV screen. So we were forced to find actors or people that never acted. And this project, this movie was exactly like City of God. We had to like search on the streets, and we knew there is such a big pool of talent that nobody saw.
Yeah.
So we did like 6 months of intensive casting on the street. We went everywhere. For every actor, I can tell you an amazing story.
And also, nobody believed, like, really we're gonna play in a movie, because it seems something so inaccessible to them.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then we professionalized them. They played in a movie.
But the thing is, like, for each role, there were like so many good options.
Yeah.
There was like too much talent. So it was really difficult to find the best of the best. So what we did at that point, because after we had all the actors, there was so much other talent. We said we have to start our own casting agency and put them, giving them the opportunity to do other,
to give the chance, because the thing is that these actors that never thought they would play in a movie before, well, Will Smith saw their performance, and people like Jennifer Lawrence saw their performance, and Margot Robbie, and they're big fans of them. And who can say that, that the biggest stars in the world were in awe of their performance, people that were just on the streets, never thinking that it would be part of the movie industry. And that caused like the new generation of dreamers, basically. Now you have these guys, girls and guys in those neighborhoods of different origins that believe that, okay, you can be an actor or even a director or even a screenwriter. And that was very important to us.
Yeah, another filmmaker that was like a big inspiration, that was Spike Lee. And he was like one of the first big black directors. And all these actors like Denzel Washington and Morgan,
Wesley Snipes.
And even Martin Lawrence, he brought them to the big screen. And when I was young, I saw Spike Lee was such an inspiration. I was thinking like, one day
Spike Lee of Belgium. That's how we basically started.
And with Black, we had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there's so many beautiful messages in your lives, whether you guys see them or not. Like there's so many beautiful ones. Like, first of all, just having a vision, a dream, a plan. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, we want to do this. It's like you had a plan. You're like, we're going to do this and this is going to happen. And this, it's like you had a plan and you'd envisioned it and you'd seen it become true. Whether you believed it or not at the time, it was there. And then the fact that you're both so purposeful, when I hear you talk about this, it's not like a strategy or a technique or like trend. It's like you guys really care about telling these stories. Like you really believe in the fact that there are these people with no voices. There are these people that are marginalized and, not really understood. And you genuinely believe that they deserve a voice.
Exactly.
And to hear you both do that so purposefully is amazing. Tell me about, you said there's loads. Tell me about just one of the stories of one of the actors that just blows your mind, or one of the actresses that you worked with that you're just like, this person can't believe it. Because I know what you're saying, that if someone came up to you on the street especially in those streets, and said, "Oh, do you want to act in my movie?" You just laugh at them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so tell us about some of those facets. Just one, a couple of them.
Well, one of the stories, like the leader of the black gang, is his character's ex, and when I had a face in my head, you know, every time I read something, I see a face, and I was just, you know, outside of the place where we were doing the casting, I was just smoking my cigarette outside, and I saw a guy pass with that face, and I was like, this is not true. And he stopped and he looked at the paper, the casting black. He looked at it and he wanted to move on. And I said, wait, stop. I said, come over here. You can do a casting right now. He said, no, I have to go to my work. I have to like go in 5 minutes. I said, no, just come inside, just 5 minutes and then you can, but I'm going to be too late. I said, come on. So he went inside. And he got one of the biggest roles of the movie.
Yeah, eventually that's how it happened.
Yeah, and we were like searching for months. And every time I saw the actors playing this character, they were always like
Yelling,
because it's a violent character, yelling. Yeah. And he was the only one that like was super quiet when he talked, and it was so dangerous.
And the thing is that the character in the movie is like an ex-child soldiers, because a lot of leaders in those gangs are ex-child soldiers, and our actor, he was not a child soldier, but he lived the civil war in Burundi. So the scenes that we shot with him, where he's looking at you know, civil wars footage on the TV screen, he felt that he understood completely the character. He was very close to the real character, you know.
So what a coincidence!
Yes, it was like a sign.
Yeah, another story. I was just, you know, just in the center of Brussels eating my bread, and there is this character who's like a white guy, but he wants to be like a Moroccan, you know, street. He wants to be like, he wants to be the most Moroccan of the gang, you know? But he's a white guy. And I was just eating my bread, and we were searching also months for that character. And there was this guy next to me with his two friends, and he was like talking. He was like the character. And I said to him, hey, and he was talking about this girl on the other side of the street. And I said to him, try to get her number. I said, no problem, man. I'm gonna get her number. He went there, tried to get her number. He came back and I said, you got her number? He said, no. I said, he said, but next time, another girl. I said, okay, you must be an actor.
Yeah. And he got the part, so it was crazy to see these characters, you know, alive here, and they eventually played in the movie.
And also, the stories about this black girl, and we were the character that plays the main black girl. She was the only one from the whole casting that found her way to us.
Yeah.
We didn't search her. She came to us.
And she was a fan of the book, a huge fan of the book. And it's because of that she eventually went to the casting, because she was such a, you know, she loved the character ever since, you know, she. As a young girl, read it and always thought that one day there should be a movie about that book, and that's how she became the main actress of the movie. And now she's, you know, she's playing in other movies. And
I can tell you a story about each character.
I know, but your guys' stories literally sound like magic. like when you're just like literally, because when you're like, oh, this girl, she loved this book and she wanted, you know, it's so beautiful to hear it. Like it really is. Like it sounds like you listen to music speaking to you guys talk about it, because it's like, it is just the imagination of what happens when you dream. But tell all of us about the days when it didn't feel like magic.
Oh yeah, well,
like, tell us about the days when like you were starting out and you weren't the magic like this magic wasn't there. Like there was time when money was low or when the production budgets were too low, and you're sitting there. I mean, we've talked about this. You're sitting there editing for hours and you're stressing out.
Yeah.
Tell us about like what kept you committed to your dreams.
Well, it's
when there wasn't the feeling of magic.
Yeah, the thing is that you got a lot of fear, you know, you got a lot of, because there's no guarantee. You dream so big and it's so unbelievable. It's like, why would we be with Will Smith making a movie and with Martin Lawrence? I mean, that's for special people. It's for big stars, you know, especially you don't have an example of people like us from Belgium at this young age. So there was no precedent to it. And we had no money, and our family are really poor. And
But my family was okay. But, you know, when you start to study, you live on your own, no money.
No money. And my family was really poor and they didn't have any money. And movies is basically a job for either the super rich, because you got mom and dad giving, you know, it's like funding your hobby, or for the super poor because you ain't gonna get any money for years. And it's not something that you cannot do that on the side. You gotta go all the way for movies. If that's really your passion, your dream, you gotta spend all your time in it, which means that you don't spend your time earning money. and And you know, but it was also the thing that would make us survive. It's like when you say it was our purpose, you know, it was really the thing. Okay, we're in a difficult situation. It sucks. I'm sleeping at his place, which is the place of his parents, on somewhere, you know,
in the attic.
In the attic, you know, on a mattress on the ground. But at least we are filmmakers, you know? And you know that one day we're gonna laugh about this. Like in 10 years, we're gonna laugh about this. Now it's a struggle. And it's that dream and that passion and that makes you feel alive, that keeps you going no matter how hard the struggle is. And when we speak to young people, to students, when they ask us, what's your advice? Our advice is always, or we say, you're gonna fall flat on your face and ground. It's gonna hurt, but you gotta get up and continue. Just don't be surprised when it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna hurt a lot, but all of that's gonna make you stronger. And through all the struggles, through all the, you know, the heartbreaks and the pain and all of that, that's why when people say, hey, how does it feel now that you made Bad Boys and it's a success? We always say, we're relieved. I mean, you can say you're happy. Of course you're happy. And you say, but we're like, whew, we went. It was a hell of a ride. It was dangerous, like an action movie. You thought you were going to die, and eventually you survived that ride. And you know, making Bad Boys was the hardest year of our lives. It was maybe the worst year of my life.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody's like, "Oh, it was such a fun movie." It was probably also really fun to make it.
It was. I think I went deep, man. I went really deep in darkness, in sadness, and I would ask, hey, well, you know, it's like our dreams that come true. I didn't know it was going to be a nightmare sometimes. And he said, it's always like that. It's a big change, big achievement, and it's gonna
with
hurt.
a lot of pain.
It's gonna hurt. And you know, it's well said that it's like, you know, you're on a mountain.